Jillian, long time no see, huh? Kind of sudden, I know, but guess what? I stole your husband. Like, literally. You're probably getting divorce papers today, so yeah, brace yourself, girl. Wait, what? Nina? Bingo, it's me, Nina. Wow, it's been what? 2 years since college graduation, right? How have you been? Still hanging in there? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've been fine, but hold on a second. What are you even talking about? My husband? Yeah, Sam. Your husband, Sam. He's mine now, babe. He told me himself. He's divorcing you and marrying me. Oops. Sorry, not sorry. What? Nina, are you serious? This has to be some kind of joke. Aw, poor thing. I get it, I do. Who wants to believe their own husband got stolen by their old friend? Must be hard to accept, huh? But, sweetheart, this is your new reality. Let's be honest, you kinda let yourself go after popping out that kid, didn't you? Sam told me himself, you stopped being a woman ages ago. That's why he chose me over you. He says I'm cuter, more fun, more everything. So yeah, you're out. He's giving me the mansion, too. And the inheritance? Oh, yeah. All mine now. Sorry for stealing your life. Oopsies. Wait, just hold up. Can we slow down for a second? Because I have no idea what the hell is happening here. Could you, back up and explain this from the start? Huh? You still don't get it? Okay, fine. I'll walk you through it since you're clearly in denial. So, it all started at this party a friend dragged me to. And who do I bump into? Your oh so precious Sam. He comes up to me all smooth and says, "Hey, you went to the same university as my wife." And I'm like, who? Turns out it's you. Imagine my surprise. You got married and even had a kid and nobody told me. Wow, right? Yeah, okay, I follow. So then what? So then we hit it off, really hit it off. We both got a little tipsy, and next thing you know, we snuck off together. 2 hours alone, you can fill in the blanks. And girl, Sam started pouring his heart out, saying how miserable he is at home, saying you're no fun anymore, you spend all his money, ignore him, and don't make him feel like a man, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, poor guy, someone's got to rescue him from this nightmare wife. That someone, me. So yeah, we started dating, secretly of course. And let me tell you, the chemistry, off the charts, babe. Right. So you started seeing him behind my back, and? Well, Sam still had you, his boring wife, at home, so we kept it hush-hush. No need to make things messy. But guess what? Sam finally hit his limit. He's done with you. He told me he's going to give you the divorce papers today and officially make me his new wife. No more hiding, no more sneaking around. We're going public, baby. And once you're out, I get everything. The house, the lifestyle, the inheritance. You can take your bat and get lost. The house? What do you mean, get out of the house? Seriously, you don't know? The 2,000 square foot mansion you're living in right now? Yeah, that one. It's Sam's parents' property. I've seen pictures. Gorgeous place. Way too nice for someone like you. So I'll be moving in. Living the rich housewife life while you go back to whatever dump you came from. Sounds fair, right? Wait, inheritance? What inheritance are you even talking about? Wow, you really don't know anything, do you? Sam's parents' inheritance? Duh. They're still alive, but they're old. Not much time left. When they're gone, Sam's getting $300 million. And guess who gets to spend it all? Yep, me. Every last penny. 300 million? That's... I can't even process that number. So let me get this straight, Nina. You're telling me you've been screwing my husband behind my back, and now you're saying he's divorcing me, kicking me and my kid out of the house, and you're taking over everything, including his parents' inheritance. That's what you're saying? Exactly. Girl, you can't even keep your man satisfied. Why would he keep wasting his life with a has-been like you? But hey, I'm generous. Sam and I will give you a nice fat lump sum for alimony and child support. Take it and get lost, yeah? You'll probably end up some sad little broke single mom, but hey, that's life. At least you'll have the money we toss your way to scrape by for a while. Good luck, sweetie. You're gonna need it. Yeah, I get what you're trying to say for now. But first, will you just listen to me for a minute? Just hear me out. What now? Gonna throw some bitter excuses my way? Honestly, at this point, nothing you say will hurt or bother me anymore, so go ahead. I'm listening. All right, then here's the real story from the very start. I am still single. Completely single. What? I've never been married in my entire life. Never changed my last name. My family registry is clean as a whistle. I had a boyfriend once, but we broke up a while ago. That's it. I'm totally unmarried. What are you talking about? You can't be serious. No, it's not a lie. I've never married. I don't have kids. And that Sam guy, I don't even know who he is. He's not my ex. I don't know him at all. Wait, what? What does that mean? That's exactly what I'm trying to figure out. Because honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about. I live alone in a small apartment near the station, not some mansion you're claiming. I don't have a husband or in-laws. My family's still back home and doing just fine. I'm just baffled. No way. You're joking, right? Single. You? Then who the hell is Sam? Seriously, I don't know who that is. No way, that can't be true. Because I promised to marry Sam. He said we needed money for the divorce. I even handed him $10 million. Wait, 10 million what? $10 million. It was supposed to cover alimony and child support. Because cheating is cheating and he wanted to settle it properly. But Sam said his wife spends all their savings and can't come up with the money. If he can't pay, he can't divorce and he can't marry me. So I borrowed money everywhere I could, paid it for him. He promised he'd pay me back with the inheritance he'd get when his parents die. He even showed me pictures of the house. I was going to live there with Sam. Don't lie and say you're single. Look, this is hard to say, but you might have been scammed. What? That Sam probably tricked you out of your money, pretended to be your fiancé, lied about marrying you. No way, Sam would never do that to me. Don't say awful things like that. Well then, do you even know who this Sam really is? How old he is, where he works, or the address of that fancy house in the pictures? I don't know. He never told me any of that. Then try calling or messaging him right now. I did. He won't pick up. And get this, he blocked my number. His phone's off. His number's no longer in use. How could this happen? Looks like he ran off. After taking a ton of money from you, he must have vanished before anyone could find him. It's a classic marriage scam. The marriage, the mansion, the inheritance, all lies. What do? I gave him $10 million. I borrowed so much money to get it. If it's all a lie, how am I supposed to pay it back? Well, that's not my problem. You should report it to the police and let them investigate. There's no time for that. I borrowed from loan sharks, too, to raise that $10 million. If I don't pay by the deadline, they'll charge me crazy interest and do terrible things. Help me, please. We're friends, right? Look, honestly, I feel bad, but if you knowingly dated a married guy, that's on you. And then you accuse others? I'm done with this. I'm going to stay away from you from now on. We weren't really close since graduation anyway. Don't say things like that. Please, just lend me some money. Help me. You really need to blame your own foolishness. Good luck with that mess. After everything that had happened, the turmoil, the lies, the endless back and forth with Nina, I finally reached a point where I could begin to close the door on that painful chapter of my life. It was a long road to get here, full of frustration, confusion, and a lingering sense of betrayal. Yet now, looking back with some distance, I can see the whole picture more clearly and reflect on the lessons that situation forced on me, even though I never wanted to learn them. When Nina first started pestering me for money, I tried to be patient. I reminded myself that maybe she was genuinely desperate, maybe she needed a lifeline. But the requests didn't stop. In fact, they only grew more frequent and more insistent. She messaged me dozens of times a day, each one filled with increasingly desperate pleas. I felt worn down, exhausted, trapped in a situation I couldn't control. Eventually, I realized that no amount of reasoning or compassion would change things, so I made the difficult but necessary decision to block her completely. I cut her off from my life without looking back. But the block wasn't enough. To truly protect myself, I went even further. I changed my phone number. I needed to make sure she couldn't find a way back in, couldn't wear me down or guilt me into compliance. That act of changing something as simple as my phone number kind of felt like a rebirth, a chance to start over without the weight of her constant demands pulling me under. It was an extreme measure, but one I know I had to take if I wanted to find peace again. The aftermath of that decision was both quiet and chaotic. Quiet because I no longer received those harrowing messages. Chaotic because the fallout spread in unexpected ways. Mutual friends told me bits and pieces about Nina's situation. Apparently, she never reported the scam to the police, nor did she confide in her family about what had happened. That surprised me. In most cases, you'd expect someone who'd been deceived and defrauded to seek help, or at least warn others. But Nina kept her silence, hiding the truth under layers of shame. I could understand why. Even though the man she'd been involved with was a fraud, the fact that she had cheated on her husband with him added a heavy burden of guilt and humiliation. Losing money was one thing, betraying the trust of the people closest to her was another. It was easier for her to keep it all locked inside than to face the judgment or pity she feared would come from admitting the full truth. Instead of confronting reality, Nina spiraled deeper into desperation. She began begging our mutual friends for money, hoping someone would rescue her from the hole she was in. But no one was willing to hand over large sums without guarantees, and her pleas were mostly ignored. This rejection must have crushed her even more, forcing her to borrow from dangerous loan sharks to cover her mounting debts. When she missed the repayment deadlines, things took a dark turn. Rumors spread that some scary people, loan sharks or even worse, had gotten involved. The last anyone heard, she was taken away by those people, vanishing without a trace. The disappearance left a haunting silence, unanswered questions, and a painful reminder of how quickly a life can unravel. It's heartbreaking and infuriating to watch someone throw everything away. How could she fall for such a transparent scam? How could her life spiral so far out of control so quickly? I wanted to shout at her to stop, to ask for help, to realize she didn't have to face everything alone. But pride, shame, and fear can be powerful chains, trapping people in cycles of self-destruction. Sometimes the hardest step is admitting you need help, and the cost of not taking that step can be devastating. The man behind it all, the con artist who called himself Sam, was caught a month later, arrested on a different charge. His face appeared briefly in the morning news and newspapers, a stranger's face that carried so much damage. Seeing that photo was surreal. He was just some man I'd never met, yet his lies had created ripples that had touched many lives, including mine. That made me realize how fragile our worlds really are, how strangers' actions can reach into our lives and shake everything up. What still baffles me is how I got caught in this mess at all. I was never involved with Sam, never lent money, and yet Nina's problems became mine to deal with. The tangled web of lies and desperation pulled me in, forcing me to question trust, loyalty, and the boundaries between people. It was a harsh, unwelcome lesson in how easily chaos can spread when deception takes root. Now, after all the pain and exhaustion, I'm determined to move on. I won't let this nightmare define me or poison my future. This experience taught me valuable lessons about self-protection, about recognizing toxic patterns and knowing when to cut ties. I've learned the importance of setting firm boundaries and listening to my own needs first. No more sacrificing my peace for the sake of others' crises, especially when they refuse to take responsibility. At the same time, despite everything, I find myself hoping that Nina somehow finds her way back. Everyone deserves a chance to recover, to learn from their mistakes and rebuild. Maybe someday she'll realize what she lost, understand the damage she caused, and come back stronger. The thought that she might be out there, lost and alone, is painful. It reminds me that people are complex, capable of mistakes, but also capable of redemption. Reflecting on this whole ordeal, I see it now as a stark reminder of how fragile human relationships really are. Trust is precious, but fragile, easy to break and so difficult to rebuild. This experience taught me not only caution, but compassion. People who make mistakes are often silently crying out for help, even if they don't know how to ask for it or are too afraid to admit it. I'm free now, free from the endless drama, the lies, the emotional roller coaster. I carry scars from those days, but they serve as reminders to stay vigilant, to protect myself without losing my capacity to care. No more second chances for people who don't deserve them. No more getting sucked into chaos that isn't mine. This is my boundary, my peace. This painful, messy, heartbreaking ending is also a beginning, a chance to start fresh, to rebuild, and to prioritize my well-being above all else. Because after all that has happened, peace is the one thing I am determined to never lose again. Even now, when I think back to those long nights of worry and endless messages, I remind myself how important it is to keep that boundary strong. It's easy to fall back into old patterns, being too kind, too trusting, too willing to help. But sometimes kindness has to be measured. Sometimes protecting yourself means saying no, walking away, and refusing to carry burdens that aren't yours to bear. I've learned that life isn't about saving everyone or fixing every problem that comes your way. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do, for yourself and for others, is to step back and let people face consequences of their actions. Only then can the real change begin. In the end, this experience wasn't just about a scam or a broken friendship. It was a hard lesson in resilience, boundaries, and self-respect. It showed me what I'm willing to endure and where I draw the line. And it reminded me that no matter how painful the past, the future always holds a chance to heal and grow. So here I am, standing at the edge of that past, ready to step forward into whatever comes next, stronger, wiser, and finally at peace. As I write this, the weight of those months lingers like a shadow, a quiet reminder that the scars left behind aren't just physical or financial, they're emotional and psychological too. It's strange how something as intangible as trust can be so easily shattered, yet so difficult to rebuild. Trust is like fragile glass. Once cracked, it never quite looks the same, no matter how carefully you piece it back together. This experience has taught me that trust isn't just given freely. It has to be earned and protected fiercely. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.